understand where you are in life, what you want in life, and currently where you're heading. Because it seems that a vast majority of the population of specifically the United Kingdom do not know any of the things I just mentioned. That's because they're not self-aware enough. They don't do enough reflection on their own being, their own self, their emotional, physical, and professional health and life. And I don't understand why. Because reflection is such an important part of daily life. And I don't even know how I'd get through a day if it wasn't for reflection. So today, I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into how I stay up to date with my own self and how I use reflection to do that. We're also going to talk about how important this is and generally the benefits of it. So, let's jump into this. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Focus Future channel. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I hope your week, month, and the beginning of the year is going well. Today, we are going to go through the idea of reflection and how you can use reflection to be more self-aware and have more awareness of how you're doing, what you're going to do, and where the general path of life is leading you. So if you're interested in all that babble of stuff, please stay tuned. If not, please use the top link in the description to go and check out a video to learn a bit more about me. But apart from that, I hope you are having a good day. And let's jump into this video and learn how to be a bit more self-aware. Now, the idea that at some point in my life I wasn't self-aware and I didn't understand where I was going in life, I didn't have a plan for life, I didn't really understand how I was emotionally, in the present day, kind of scares me. I don't even understand how I made it through an entire year without understanding any of that. Now, everyone in society knows deep down where they are and what they're doing. Some people are scared to admit the truth of where they are and what they're doing and what they need to improve on. Some people just never look at it and think, well, life will take me wherever I need to be. I don't need to think about that. And some people just generally don't think about it. Normally that means your life's going pretty well. But the problem is if you don't reflect, if you don't look at yourself, if you don't understand where you are, where you're going and where you're meant to be, you are going to find yourself going down a bit of a loophole. What I mean by this is tracking, understanding, and being aware of where you are professionally, emotionally, and physically. Is my physical health all good? Do I feel okay? Is there anything on my body that I'm a bit concerned about? Is there any way I'm feeling physically that's a bit off? Maybe I need to check that out. Emotionally, am I waking up in the morning in reasonably good spirits? Are my moods in some form of order? You know, I'm getting sad sometimes, I'm feeling emotion, but they're not overwhelming and I can manage them. Do I feel anxious all the time? Am I suffering from panic attacks? Do I need to seek further help to help myself be a better person? How's my social life doing? Are my friends okay? Am I talking to them enough? Do I need to talk to them a tiny bit more? Do I need to catch up with specific people? Am I being the person I want to be seen to be? Professionally, have I got some goals in place? Do I know where I'm heading professionally? Do I understand what I want out of my professional career? And are them goals, going to meet my professional personal needs? Am I going to be fulfilled at the end of my professional life? Am I making enough money to feed the kids, to feed the family, to feed the wife, to look after everyone in the best way possible? More importantly, Am I getting satisfaction from things I do on a daily basis? Is what I mean by being truly self-aware. All the things I just mentioned, you should be able to think about and have a decent understanding of where you are with that. For example, yesterday I wrote a post on Instagram to test my abilities if I'm able to identify where I am professionally and what my goals are. Turns out, considering the Instagram post was extremely long, I've got a pretty good idea of where I am. The importance of understanding this is enormous. Let me explain why. Now, let me give you an example of what would happen if I didn't track all these things, if I didn't have a basic self-awareness and understanding of my own being. Now, my life might stay stable for quite a long while. You could probably go quite a long time with not really caring, not understanding yourself, not really setting goals, and you could probably get away with it for quite a bit of time. You know, life for a little while will keep you on a bumpy road and keep you smoothly going. But sooner or later, probably a year to 2 years after just being completely oblivious to where you are in life, something's gonna sneak in, catch up to you, and you'll regret it. And it will make your life hell on earth. For example, if I don't track my professional goals, if I don't keep in tune with what I really want professionally, and then I decide to start a business off of something that I think I want, but don't call it off quick enough before it starts to become a daily routine and I'm miserable, suddenly you're in a career that you don't really want to be in. Emotionally, you started dating a girl and suddenly you switch off from your own emotional mindset, you're not really going to understand or have any idea of whether you actually want to be in that relationship. Suddenly, it just becomes routine. You wake up in the morning, you text your girlfriend morning, and then the day just rolls on as normal. But you don't pick up upon the little things that are kind of your inner brain telling you that you need to move on. On the twist side of things, you could be doing really well in your professional career, but what you don't realise is that you're not spending enough time with family, and your family are starting to suffer because of your own actions. And if you're not self-aware, you're not going to understand that. That is even just some of the effects. Physically, for example, if you don't keep an eye on your physical health, you don't make sure for a woman that you ain't getting any lumps anywhere. You can look out for that as a male as well. You know, you're making sure that you don't feel ill all the time. How's my immune system doing? Am I eating correctly? All these things. You're gonna see physical health problems come in. And as much as them issues like, oh well, something happened like that, I could just deal with it, man. I'm strong. I can do that. Being unself-aware is not a sign of strength. If anything, it's a sign of a vulnerable person. A person I definitely wouldn't want working for me in my own business. If someone's unself-aware, the chances are they're letting life take it where it wants. And life doesn't always take you down the right route. As much as people say that, your life's mapped out and everything in life is just gonna happen and miraculously everything will work out in the world, that positive mindset that in some situations is great to have, don't get me wrong, could lead you down a death trap if you're not careful. Because in reality, you decide where your life is. You decide professionally, emotionally, and physically how you are and what you're doing. You make them decisions on a daily to weekly basis. If you then stop making them decisions and just take as life goes, you'll continuously hit the bottom of your emotional and physical health. Because again, you weren't tracking it. Now, I don't mean you have to be on top of your game 24/7, everything going perfectly all the time. No, that's not what I mean. Obviously, everyone is going to go through down points and we're all going to hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom at least once a month. But what I do mean is understanding yourself to a point where life is not just this free-flowing roller coaster. You are getting a sense of achievement out of the things you do. You feel like you're actually progressing rather than just in the same spot running and not really going anywhere. Because if you don't become self-aware emotionally, physically, and, you know, professionally, that's what's gonna happen. You'll be doing things every day to try and progress, to try and move forward, thinking that everything around you will just go and do what it's meant to do. You'll sit at your laptop or sit at your desk when you get into work. Your boss will plonk a load of things on your desk or ask you to do something, and you're like, yeah, sure, I can complete that work. But because you didn't track your emotional well-being and your own health, you then suddenly realise that, wait, I don't have the motivation to do that work. Or I've not got the energy to do that work because I didn't sleep last night. And suddenly that amazing philosophy of life that takes you wherever you need to go kind of becomes a bit useless. That is why reflection and understanding yourself is so important. I can't express it enough. I'm gonna say this. Now, I say this a lot because a lot of the tips I provide you guys I use myself, so a lot of them work. But I would not be where I am today, doing the things I am today, be so positive and uplifted, and be able to cope with the daily things I have to go through if it wasn't for reflection. Basically saved my entire emotional health. So how do you guys become more self-aware? How do you guys reflect well? Here's my tips. Now, the first thing you need to do, really, is set aside a time one day and really sit with yourself. Don't let anyone else in the room. Go into your own bedroom or something, a space of quiet, and sit with your own person. As I would call it, have a bit of a conversation with your own brain. Catch up with yourself. And here's some questions you can ask yourself when you're just sitting there thinking about life. First of all, where am I today? Where am I emotionally? How do I feel? Do I feel like I'm doing the things I want to do? Do I feel like I'm having a lot of mood swings? Am I getting upset a lot? Am I down? Am I anxious? All these questions. Think about how you generally feel. Am I happy? Am I sad? Really question it and unveil what you really think and feel. Next, your physical health. Take a minute, be like, am I eating correctly? Am I drinking enough water each day? Something that's played on my mind recently. Am I maintaining some form of physical fitness, especially if you're going into adulthood? All these things. Professionally, am I going down the right career path? Am I fulfilled through the career path I'm going down? Is my work just maintained and boring because, well, life is life? I hate that phrase. Or am I on the opposite side of things, striving and doing really well professionally? And when you're asking yourself these things, write them down. Get a Word document up, get a piece of paper, get something to note it down, and write it. Note down how you're thinking and feeling. Note down how you're doing professionally, what you want to achieve, how you're doing physically. And for 30 minutes that day, that's all I'm asking of you. Sit there and look at that paper or that Word document or whatever you put it on and be like, am I happy with where I am today? And at first, you might not get an answer. At first, you're going to stare at that sheet, you're going to stare at that whatever it's on, and you're going to be like, I don't know. But listen to the back voice in your head, your instincts. when you immediately think of what you've just wrote, what is the inner brain telling you? Is it like, yes, I'm happy with this, well done, you should be proud of yourself? Or is it like, nah, that's not right, there's something wrong about this? That inner voice is your true self talking to you. Listen to it. It's the only time I will ever say to you that your instincts will be 100% accurate. Let me just classify. 100% accurate. Why is this? Because our bodies are designed to give us signals. Our brain tells us when we're in pain. Our brain tells us when we're sad. Our brain tells us when we're hungry or need water. And as well as that, it analyses the information in front of us and decides how it feels about it. The problem is a lot of us adapt how we're truly thinking to suit what other people think. But when you're alone, when you're in your own bubble, you can forget about what other people think, you can forget about social pressures, and you can just listen to that inner voice of, yes, I'm happy with this, this is going well, or nah, that needs changing, or I'm not happy with this. And the things that your instincts, that inner voice that we all have, and I know you have, you've just got to admit you have it. It doesn't mean you're insane, we all have a little instinctual feeling and gut instinct of, no, okay, yes, maybe, no, I'm not sure about that. And then note down all the things your brain was telling you it didn't like, or how it felt about them things. For example, if you've noticed that you're not as happy or you're not as fulfilled as you used to be, write that down and then try and pick apart why that is. Try and really get to the root of why am I not fulfilled? Why is it taking me so long to get out of bed? Why is it taking me so long to go down and get breakfast? Why is my work not fulfilling me? And once you've found, after many attempts, and this might take you a lot of reflection, a lot of sitting with yourself, think about, well, how am I going to act on what my brain is telling me? How am I going to fix this? Because the one thing out of everything that you can deny in the world, there's one thing you can't deny. Because it will haunt you forever. And that is how you really are. No matter how hard you try, you will never be able to twist how you really feel. Deep down. Not just on an instinctual level, but on a human heart level. How you really are. After that initial phase of reflection, set out goals, set out plans, give yourself a daily routine, and make it your main determination to pick yourself up or improve who you already are. There's always room for improvement. Fulfilled? How can I be even more fulfilled? If you're not fulfilled, how can I become fulfilled? And then as you do that, set a day each week where all you do, for half hour, maybe an hour if you can push that long, where you sit there and again you reflect. You think about what you've achieved that week. You think about what went wrong. And again, you listen to your instincts. What is this little voice in the back of my brain telling me to do? Because that is what you really want. And as time progresses, you become more and more connected with our inner self. And what you'll start to realise is when someone proposes an idea to you or proposes you to help them do something, instead of just being like, yes, no, maybe, okay, cool, or I feel this way, or I'm like this, because you want to impress them, or you don't want to seem shady, or whatever else is going through your head, you'll actually stop, you'll think, and you'll listen to that voice. Because your brain would have got into the habit of listening to itself. Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't take in other people's opinions, you shouldn't try and, obviously look at the situation around you and decide on your actions. Obviously we need to do that. But once you've considered all them things, what you should notice is that you go back to your own self and suddenly you're self-aware. You understand what the decision you're about to make, how that is going to affect you, where that's going to lead you, how that's going to make you feel, if that's going to affect your physical, professional, or emotional health. Or is it going to benefit you? And already, if you're doing this regularly and you're generally keeping up with it, you will see benefits. Because every time you sit there and reflect once a week, it could even be every day, sit there a 10-minute period of night, even when you're just laying in bed looking at the ceiling, I know we all do it, just go over in your head like, brain, how are we? How did we feel about that? What was this? What was that? Have a bit of a conversation with your own brain. We all do it. Now, I'm not just saying this because I've studied stuff like this, I've looked into stuff like this. I genuinely mean this from a personal level. I have a thing on my calendar, business-wise, emotionally, physically, called Reflect and Reconfigure. Every week on a Sunday on my calendar, there's a repeated time in the day where my only task is to reflect and reconfigure. To reflect on how the previous week has gone, what mistakes I made, what I didn't do right, more importantly, what I did do, what I achieved, and then to look into the next week and make decisions upon my own life. And I can't tell you how much that has helped me. It's not just helped me professionally, it's helped me emotionally. It's kept me a bit more relaxed. It's kept my physical health in check. And more importantly, it's gave me a feeling of, you know what, I can make decisions on anything. Because now, every time something big comes up in my life, something that really grips at me, someone's thrown at me something that I could do, but then again, this and that and this and that is going to affect it, I stop. And I'm like, right, dude, I'll get back to you next week. Let me give this a bit of time. I'll go home, I'll put in my little description box of that calendar, reflect on this, boom, back of my brain, in my storage department, don't need to think about that until Sunday. When Sunday comes around, I'm in the mood, I know that the only thing I've got to do that hour is sit there and reflect and make a decision on things, and suddenly life becomes a little bit better. And this is what I suggest we all do. It doesn't have to be on a Sunday. If your schedule doesn't meet up to be on a Sunday, then it doesn't have to be. It just considerably adds up that on a Sunday is the best day for me to do that. But it's something we should all try and do. Again, because I don't know where I'd be today if it wasn't for it. So today, your challenge is to go out there, really sit down with yourself and reflect, and try and give yourself a routine where for half hour, an hour a week, or a day, depending on how you feel, reflect. Connect with your inner self and understand what you truly want. You'll see the health benefits before your eyes.